So after the release of the utterly mediocre Daredevil Born Again, I've been looking around the anti-woke right-wing sphere on YouTube. And to be honest, after years of following these people and respecting their takes and their pushback on wokeness, I really don't know what's going on, because almost every single person in this niche is praising Daredevil Born Again as if it's not some woke piece of trash. But before I get into it, I want to mention that I have a Patreon, so if you do want to support me, you don't have to, you could jump over there and it would be greatly appreciated. So I'm not going to name names in this video, I'm not going to attack big creators, because most of these people I've spent a lot of time watching and respecting, and over the years I agreed with almost everything that these people said. But I don't know why in recent times a lot of these people are starting to get softer or something, because when a new woke movie or TV show or comic comes around, they all just eat it up and say that yeah, it's pretty good, it's pretty solid. Like for example, that new movie Furiosa, the fake Mad Max woke garbage that replaced the excellent character of Mad Max, Mel Gibson, the Road Warrior, with some feminists that nobody cared about. You saw people like Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker saying that yeah, it's a pretty good movie, it could pass, it's not even that woke. Mad Max is a man, it's about Mel Gibson. Anything else is fan fiction. But for some reason they didn't have the balls to say that, and it's the same case with the brand new Daredevil. All you have to do is look up Daredevil Born Again into YouTube, just look for these creators and you'll get exactly what I'm talking about. You see all these cringe thumbnails and titles about Daredevil Born Again saying that Marvel did it, oh my god, they actually did it, they brought back Daredevil and it wasn't woke. Then they go on to contradict themselves in their videos saying that, oh yeah, Daredevil Born Again is solid, it's not as good as the Netflix show, but it's really solid and the best MCU thing in years. Yeah, Fisk might be an allegory for Trump, it's not might be. Everybody's wearing hats with his motto on it. All of his supporters are these raging lunatics banging into people and fighting each other in the streets. And some of these channels really do like Daredevil and the character, and yet are still praising this show. Once again, I'm not going to name names because I respect a lot of these people, but one of these channels was talking about Daredevil Born Again and thought that it was a good argument that this show is based off of the comic where Fisk becomes mayor from 2015, just 1 year before Trump was elected, so it's not exactly a Trump allegory. Well, stop being so thick and let this sink into your mind. So what if Mayor Fisk's storyline was from 2015? Why are they choosing to adapt it now when Trump is back in office? It makes perfect sense. So you can make these arguments all you want, saying that Fisk in the show is actually not even Republican and the storyline is from 2015. It doesn't matter. It's such a clear allegory for Trump. And there's so many different storylines that they could have adapted, but of course it had to be this one. A lot of these people as well are saying that it's not as good as Netflix. It doesn't have the lighting or the exact brilliant dialogue, but it's still really solid. What does solid even mean anymore? You've just been watching so much crap nowadays that something that's even slightly alright seems like really solid. And man, Marvel did it. They brought back Daredevil. I remember watching a stream years ago with these exact same people talking about the prequels of Star Wars, which I absolutely adore. Part 1, 2 and 3 are all masterpieces. I don't care what you say, Attack of the Clones is still a 10 out of 10. But their argument on this stream was the fact that the new movies are so woke and crap that people are looking back on the prequels saying that they're amazing, which I completely disagree with because I've loved the prequels my entire life. So let me get this straight. Just a few years ago, these same people were fighting with everything, talking about the recency bias and how people are only liking the prequels because the new stuff sucks. But now we're all adoring Daredevil Born Again. The show is garbage. It goes beyond politics. It's just not good. And stop acting like Daredevil Born Again is some innocent show where nothing is going on. I'm still waiting for the axe to drop on this one because it's actually brilliant so far and it could get better. What are you talking about? Watch the first episode of the Netflix show compared to the first episode of Disney's Born Again. In Born Again, they cheaply try to recreate the same one-take fight scenes, the same energy, the same lighting, the same tone and darkness. It can't be done, and it's Disney trying to cash in on the fact that Daredevil was a great show and now they can milk something out of it. One of my major issues that I think that most people watching this video could agree with is the overuse of the word woke and DEI. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but I don't think I've said DEI like once in any of my titles, thumbnails, or videos. It's because it's some cringe narrative that's being pushed, saying that wokeness and DEI and liberals are just a new thing since 2016. That's not even any way true. The word wokeness, which is just another word for cultural Marxism, has been going on much longer than most people have ever known. It's not from 2016. It's not even from 2010. It goes all the way back, even before the 80s, 90s. Watch movies or read books or comics from the 70s, 80s, or 90s, and wokeness was still a thing back then. It just wasn't called that. I'm just gonna say it flat out. DEI is fake. Yeah, it's been proven that there's scores and quotas that these people have to meet, putting in diversity and inclusion. But the idea that DEI is just some new thing that can be destroyed with one bill that's passed is just simply idiotic and retarded. Speaking of which, if you come over here, you see a new article from Variety. Now, this article is something that's been being used by YouTubers as a leg to stand on with their super thin argument. It says that Hollywood ditches DEI to avoid Donald Trump's wrath. That doesn't mean anything. You're telling me because Donald Trump passed one bill, you're going to eradicate an entire political idea. Not just a political idea, a movement that's been going on for years, destroying Western civilization and culture. Donald Trump is going to get rid of all of that, is he? Stop kidding yourself and stop coping. And also, am I going insane or something? Or are these people just talking out of their ass? Because they're saying that because of new articles and Donald Trump passing new bills to destroy DEI, some show, Daredevil Born Again, show that was probably filmed like a year ago, will somehow be affected by this. It makes no sense. Even if Trump does get rid of wokeness, we're going to be seeing it in the next few years with up and coming projects that have to abide by these rules. It's not going to be Daredevil Born Again, some show that was already filmed and written before this was even passed. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who thinks like this, but I'm entirely sick of this double standard. These same channels years ago would be destroying something like Daredevil Born Again. But nowadays, anything can pass as a solid movie or TV show, even if it is woke. Because Donald Trump, apparently, the great Donald Trump, is doing some DEI bill that gets rid of it. Now look, I'm not some deranged lunatic who hates Donald Trump, but at the same time, I can open up my eyes and see that the dude isn't some entirely giga-based guy who wants to get rid of all wokeness. And if you actually believe that, then you're coping. Donald Trump is still your leader. He's still your master. He's still put in that position. He's not some 100% pure dude that we should all be praising. And there's no way in hell that he'll be able to get rid of all DEI and wokeness overnight. 3/4 or half of America is probably taken up by deranged Marxist lunatics. You're not going to change their mind overnight. They're still going to go out there and write books and comics and TV shows and movies with these ideas. You're not going to be able to get rid of it. And you're extremely foolish if you believe that this is possible. As we go on, these channels are going to become less and less lenient, and they're going to start tolerating more of this crap. Until we get to the point where we're almost at right now, where Daredevil Born Again, show where Wilson Fisk is a deranged allegory for Donald Trump, and also he's an iconic villain that was pioneered by Frank Miller to be menacing and intimidating, and instead he's being cocked and no one's talking about it. The dude's sitting down in therapy rooms crying and being told what to do by his woman. There's ethnically diverse people all around Matt in the show. There's no Foggy or Karen. There's McDuffie and some random cop. None of them are white. I know it probably sounds insane to some people watching, but most of Daredevil's supporting cast are white people. It's not some ugly black bitch. It's not some bald Hispanic dude who nobody knows who he is. Can somebody tell me who the hell he is? It's Karen, Foggy, Elektra, Stick, Ben Yorick. And the thing is, all of these channels know this. Channels like Nerdrotic and Razorfist have read the original Frank Miller Daredevil run, and I've heard Nerdrotic saying that it's like his favourite comic. If Daredevil Born Again is possible when it's a complete disgrace and goes against everything from the comics. Let's stop throwing around fake titles and let's stop coping. No, Daredevil Born Again is not New War. It doesn't have any of the dialogue, character, plot, setting, or even lighting writing for that matter. A few scenes with a flickering of red and blue light does not make it film noir. Daredevil Born Again is not solid, it's mediocre at best. It's not an 8 out of 10, it's nowhere near the Netflix show. These channels need to stop lying and tell people the truth. Some people out there don't actually want to watch these shows, so they come onto YouTube and type in videos about them to see if it's even worth watching. And when they get fake copium like I've been seeing, they'll be tricked to believing it's a good show. So if you're watching this video and you're curious about Daredevil Born Again and the current state of Marvel and DEI and wokeness, don't believe what these channels are telling you. It's not dying out. Donald Trump is not going to get rid of it overnight. Daredevil Born Again is not worth your time. It's not solid. It's not an 8 out of 10. It's not even mediocre. It's lower than that. So I don't know if anyone watching will even agree with what I'm saying, that this is a sad fall from grace for these channels that used to call out bullcrap exactly like this show. If you did find sense in anything I said, then do let me know. And if you got a goddamn problem, go complain to your boyfriend.